What's happening, agents? Infamous Trickster here, and thank you for tuning in to another one of my build videos. So today we're going to be talking about one that I did a similar build to, but since TU10 has dropped, there are different gear pieces and gear sets that we're going to be talking about today. Now, one of the gear sets that I'm going to be using in this video is the Eclipse Protocol. So this build video is going to be based around that, and let's get into it here. So I'm going to break down the weapons and the gear set and alternate pieces that I'm using and the skills. So let's go over the weapons first. So first off, we're looking at the Rifle Everlasting Gaze. Now this is really good for status effect builds because of what it provides. So let's get into it here. So 14% rifle damage, 13% critical hit damage, and 3.9 rate of fire. Now talent on here is Perfect Perpetuation. Now this is what I was mentioning, why this is ideal for status effect builds. Headshots grant 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect you apply. The cooldown on this is 16 seconds. So this is really nice, especially if you're just trying to set up, or even if you're able to get a headshot off in the middle of combat. So you get a headshot off, you can sit down your status effect, whatever it is, bleed, burn, blind, whatever it is, and it's got an extended duration and damage effect. So that's really nice to have. And of course, the second piece that I'm using is the Assault Rifle Pyromaniac. This is really nice to have because it just increases the amount of damage that you're applying to your burns. So this one here, we're looking at 12% assault rifle damage, 12% health damage, and 8.7 accuracy. Now the talent on here is another perfect talent called Perfectly Ignited. Deal 25% weapon damage to burning enemies, and after 3 kills applies burning to the next enemy you hit. This whole talent here works really well with your status effect build because the burn that you're applying after the 3 kills is also affected by status effect. So it just synergizes extremely well on here. And of course, sidearm is the Liberty. You can use whatever sidearm you want to use, but Liberty hits hard and I like it. It's an exotic, why not? So we're looking at 13% pistol damage, 10% damage to targets out of cover, and the talent on here is Liberty or Death. Hits grant 2% weapon damage, stacking up to 30 times. Headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. Okay, so let's get into the gear pieces that I'm using. So the mask we're looking at is a Wyvern piece. Now, wearing 2 pieces of this currently gives 10% skill damage and 10% status effect. We're looking at 1 skill tier, 10.8 skill haste, maxed at 10% status effect, and the mod slot's got 10% skill haste. The backpack is the first piece of the Eclipse Protocol. So this set is really nice. It's based around status effect itself. So 2 pieces giving us 15% status effect, 3 pieces giving us 15% skill haste and 30% hazard protection, and the 4 piece is what really makes this so nice. 4 pieces provides you with indirect transmission. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 15 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. It's really nice because if you get a full room of ads coming out, one of those ads die and it spreads like wildfire, literally wildfire. This is the attributes I have on here. 1 skill tier, maxed at 10% status effect, and skill haste is at 9.9 in the mod slot. The talent on here is Symptom Aggravator, amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 15%. Now remember, Pyromaniac already gives you 25% increased damage. This just works even better on top of that. So that's 40% extra damage that you're going to be dealing to burning targets. Let's look at the chest piece we've got here, the second piece of Eclipse Protocol. 1 skill tier, 10% status effect at max, and 9.9 skill haste. And the mod slot. Now the talent on here is called Proliferation. Increases indirect transmission range from 15 to 20 meters and refresh percentage from 50 to 75. So that means when it crosses over to the ads that are not currently under a status effect, it refreshes the duration to 75%. and it increases the range from 15 to 20. So that's really nice to have. Here's the second piece of wyvern that I'm using, which is the gloves. So this is currently giving us 1 skill tier, 7.5 status effect, and 10.5 skill haste. And I just realized I can increase that even more, so we'll get to that eventually. Holster is the third piece of Eclipse Protocol. We're looking at 1 skill tier and 10% status effect maxed out. And the last piece we're looking at is the knee pads. Same thing, 1 skill tier, 10% status effect. So the skills I'm using on here are a little bit different than my pyromancy build that I made a little while ago. So we'll break it down here. So on this build, I am currently using the Airburst Seeker Mines. These are really nice. They also apply a burn effect. And this time I'm actually using this alongside the Chem Launcher. So what we're looking at here, the cooldown is at 17.7 seconds. Health is at just under 200,000. Damage is at 1.1 million. Now the burn damage is at 264,863, and the duration burns for 32 seconds. Now that 32 seconds is if your targets aren't already dead, but they're going to be burning for that amount of time if you throw this at them. All right, and explosion radius is at 6 meters. And let's get into this skill here, the Chem Launcher. So this one is still the same. It's so nice to have this damage on this one. This is the Firestarter Chem Launcher. So ammo is at 7, ammo cooldown is at 17.7 seconds. Cloud radius is at 4.3. Cloud duration, 20 seconds. Doesn't really matter the cloud duration because you want to be able to ignite it as soon as it lands. The damage we're looking at is 528,509. Burn damage is at 264,805, and the duration on this one for the burn is 13.5 seconds. All right, so that's obviously all of these are going to be at skill tier 6 as well. Now, this time around, I'm actually in the firewall specialization. All right, so this one is actually really nice to have. Main reason for it is this right here, enriched magnesium formula. It increases the burn duration. So anything that's already has a long duration, so just think about the Airburst Seeker Mine. It already has a 32-second burn on there, so just increase that by another 20%. So that's insane damage. I haven't fully spec'd into this build yet, still working on it, but you know how it is, got to put in that time. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you guys in the shooting range down here. We're going to set this all up right now and just show you guys how this works out. So let's go ahead and put this on very hard. Now usually what I like to do is I like to, before an encounter starts, I like to kind of set up. What we'll do is we get a headshot going off. Once enemies start to go into their area and whatever, you shoot at them. Now we already have the Seeker Mine, and the good thing about the Seeker Mine is you can kind of place where we want it to go. Okay, and then what happens is it automatically will ignite. Okay. I'll show you guys again here. Let's check this out. Look at this. Crazy. Just crazy. And it just keeps going from that. So that's the indirect transmission. So look at this. Look at this. These guys are almost going to die. They're dead. And it just keeps transferring. Back and forth. Until it's finished. So you guys see how strong this is. This is so strong right now. Especially if you know where enemies, where ads are going to spawn or which door they're going to come out of. You can set up ahead of time and just have everyone burning. It's good for crowd control and damage mitigation as well, because when targets are burning, most of the time they're not able to aim. So they run around on fire, and it's great. Now, obviously, this works for PvP and PvE. So what you do is, because the targets can't aim down their sights, their accuracy is obviously going to be very low. So you can definitely have that going. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys a bit of gameplay, essentially, of how it works in the real world, and show you guys what happens. So, Infamous Trickster, out.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Take it out.
Control point detected. Heavily armed hostile detected.
You think I'm gonna fall for that?
Reinforcements en route. Incoming hostiles detected. Vital signs critical. hostile contacts. Detected hostile supply convoy, heavily armed.
Infamous Trickster Gaming